Hello Internet, James Allen from Out of 8, and today I'm playing turn-based strategy game Concealed Intent. Game features a 17 mission campaign, which I've gotten about halfway through. The reason being is every mission you have these special items in your loadout, and they carry over from mission to mission, and I did not realize that earlier on in the campaign, so I've kind of screwed myself by basically throwing away a bunch of components that I needed to basically beat the later missions. So that's kind of the reason why for that. So I'll just skip out of this here because I will lose. In addition to that, there is a very robust skirmish mode, which I'll show off in a minute, and online play that you can enjoy as well. So I'm going to do a skirmish mode. Again, a lot of options here. Has different objectives, just a duel between the two sides, can come with a base, and then a couple other modes here, waves of enemies, saving neutral factions, different maps that you can do. Basically, planets and asteroids serve as obstacles you can hide behind so you don't get picked up on sensors. And then all these options that you see down here. So I'm going to randomize this. Big bucks, no way me, stop. Pretty close to fair. So I have a destroyer, corvette, and a scout. Frigate, skiff, corvette, frigate, cruiser. Let's get rid of one of them. We'll do 3 versus 4. So for each of your ships, you can pick. You see, there's a lot of different ships. You can pick your loadout. I usually like to customize it because sometimes I like ones better than others. Components are drones. You get mines, drones that can attack, and then probes, which basically just have really good radar on it, and spotters, which help to increase the attack chance against an enemy. You also have a bunch of different weapons, small, short range, medium range, long range, different damages, and each weapon also has this little graph that shows how the damage is affected based on how far away you are from the enemy. Have countermeasures, which, as you will see, confuse enemy sensors and decrease their signature, which is the crux of the game I'll talk about in a little bit. Different sensors, active and passive, that they can use to detect the enemy, and defensive things like armor and whatnot to increase the hit points, which also increases the signature as well, which is fairly interesting. So let me pick what I want. That really decreases it. I might get rid of a decoy and go for another weapon here. So I have a multi-pulse, which is fairly short range. So let's do beam, and that'll be that one. Notice each ship type has a different maximum capacity, and also the base radar signature that it has, and then the number of hit points in the hull. So I'll do these other two here. 3 laser drones will be useful. Actually, let me get rid of one of those and swap it for a spotter. And then that'll give me 5 more points I can use on another weapon. Let's do a medium beam and spend the extra 1. Oh no, I have 10 more. Shoot, I got tons of stuff. Well, in that case, let's do another probe. Yeah, let's do a laser drone. That'll give me 3 left. You kind of have to, pick and choose. You don't need everybody to have probes. You can stick them on one thing. We'll just do a decoy for the last one. And for my scout, not very much. Does come with a probe. That's basically it. Alright, so we'll see how this goes. Alright, so here's the map. Game is in 3D, so you can move above and below. The way that you move is a 3-step process. You right-click to enter the movement mode. You can hold the right mouse button to change the height, and then you left-click to set the waypoint. And you can issue more than one, so you can go like that if you want to move around obstacles and stuff. So, step 1 is going to be to deploy everything I want to deploy. I'm going to deploy this probe. I'm going to deploy... I should have swapped out that spotter. That's right, I'll save him. I'll deploy 1 laser drone and that probe. So I'll get both my probes out and then one of my laser drones. Every time you perform an action in the game, it increases your signature, which basically affects how well the enemy can see you. The higher your signature, the better they can see you, and the more accurate that their shots will be. So there's a very interesting balance here of how much stuff you want to do each turn. Every time you move, fire your weapons, use your sensors, launch things, it'll increase your signature, and the only way to bring it back down is to use these countermeasures like the flares and the decoy. So very interesting gameplay mechanic there, definitely. And that's really the crux of the game, is scouting for the enemy, trying to get the attack rating as high as possible, and then launching your attack at once, basically saying, okay, well now, I'm going to increase my signature by, using my weapons. So you see, like, firing this weapon brings your signature up by 15. And then basically if it goes all the way over, then you're basically totally spotted there. Alright, so I'm going to move my guys a little bit, which again, using the engines increases your signature. Because I'm not sure where the enemies spawn, because this is a random scenario. I will do one probe up a lot and turn on his LiDAR. I'll do the other probe down a lot and turn on his LiDAR, and then I will move the laser drone just over here and turn on his Omni. And then we'll see where these guys are at. Now this is turn-based, which I really like because it gives you time to plan. Getting old, don't really have the reflexes or the real-time tactical aptitude anymore to do very well in real-time games. Oh gosh, alright. Well, they are scattered all over the dang place. Alright, so what do I want to do? I will probably should focus on one side versus the other side. So I'm going to focus on this first. So I will send my probe over to there. And I'm basically just going to try to get as close to them as I can get in one turn, which is there, and I'll turn my LiDAR on. Now, I want to get within range. He's 4,400 away. My multi-pose was really short range. Beam is a little bit longer. So I actually do want to move a little bit. The way that it determines attack ratings is where you are at the beginning of the turn, not necessarily at the end of the turn. So we're going to do that. My scout, I will actually turn on his Omni as well. And then I'll probably do some ECM to bring that back down a little bit. Move my Corvette in the back. He does have a spotter, so I'm going to launch him. And I'm going to bring him over here to try to get this unknown as best as I can anyway. Yeah, he's out of range this turn, but next turn he should be alright. Probe 2. I will probe these guys as best I can anyway. And I'm going to basically ignore this junk over here for now. And focus on these two over here. And I'm going to move my laser drone over. Alright, I think that's it. See if there's anything else I can also launch another laser drone, which I think I will actually. You guys got nothing. Alright, so laser drone 3. I'll bring him over here. Maximum. And I think I got enough radar coverage here. I don't really need to turn his on. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, here we go. It's game time now. Alright, so they got a cruiser, they got a probe. This thing is unknown. That's probably an enemy ship. Alright, so. And I got some drones over there. So again, I want my probe to turn the radar on, and I really want to paint this cruiser and all this other stuff. So I'll do that. When you mouse over, it shows you the hit percentage chance, which is basically based on how sensed they are, what their thing is like. See, this probe here has very high signature, which makes it so I have a 100% chance of taking that thing out because he basically used his radar. Now, I really like the interface in this game. You'll notice that it gives you a list of everything on both sides. Your stuff and the enemy stuff. You can right-click directly on here to target, so you don't have to find them in the map. Assuming that they're in range, and it'll show you all the tooltips there. Easy to find stuff. If anything is off your view, you can click on the little arrow here, and it'll take you over to where that is. That's really nifty as well. It shows all the hit points over here, current signature and previous signatures over there. If you select an enemy thing and say you don't want to attack it, you can press alternate and it'll move towards it. So again, really useful interface, and I like the graphs for how effective the weapons are. That's really neat. That it just shows you that information straight up. All right. So, Scout, let's have him... he's attacking the probe, and then I'm going to probably just keep him still. I want this guy to attack this. So we're going to do all of those, and then I also want to move a little bit closer, or what I think will be closer. So Destroyer's going to go after that. Since he's firing all of his weapons, he's going to be spotted pretty much instantly. So that's the question. 63% chance. Is that worth him basically revealing himself? That's the question for it. The Destroyer actually doesn't have very good weapons, to be honest about it. 3 damage each is not very much. Okay, I want him to spot that. Let's have the laser drone go after this laser drone. I'll have the Corvette go after this, that laser drone also. Alright, he'll go over there. I want this probe to probe whatever this thing is, which we'll find out shortly. I'm going to have this laser drone try to take out that laser drone, although I don't think that's going to work out too well, because it's only 1 damage. And I think that's it. So you can press tab to cycle through all your stuff, just to make sure you have told everybody to do something at least. Yeah, that should be it. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay. Well. That was okay-ish. My destroyer is getting destroyed. Golly, look at all those laser drones. Now, if you take out the ship that controls the drones become neutral, which is really good. Yeah, full damage, please. 7 damage? How much hit points does this have? 18. I really want to take out that cruiser. So I think he's controlling most of these drones. Again, I'm just going to turn his LiDAR on. I'm going to have the Scout do that, which will be 3. He'll be... so that's 10. That'll be 1, because he's so far away. I need to bring him closer. I am focusing on this cruiser. And try to take out that spotter. It's got 4. What would that be? That'd be 1. And then let me move him closer to that cruiser. I really want to take out this cruiser because I think... let me turn on his Omni and attack him. I think that guy, this cruiser, is controlling all this laser drone junk. And once I take him out, all those guys will turn neutral and I can take him out. So this game's challenging. The AI is actually pretty decent, although once you kind of get the upper hand on a ship, they simply just stop moving the ship. Kind of give up. Part of that's because that decreases the signature rating. Alright, now I need to definitely start using some of this stuff here. So I'm going to do that, and do that, do that. So now he's basically going to disappear. And then these guys are all drones, so they don't have anything. Alright. Let's see what happens. Oh, crap. My destroyer got destroyed. I gotta pick him up in his escape pod. And I have a Corvette, and I have a Scout. So that's not great. Not at all. Well, the scout can go pick him up, so I will do that with him. That's unfortunate. He's going to attack him while he's going over there. Now, what about this cruiser? I got him down pretty good. So he has 7. Is there a way I can... He's out of range. It sucks. It's smart for the AI, of course. So I guess I'll just target him while I'm going over there. See, 5. He's got a lot of hit points, though. Yeah, 16. I think I'm going to lose. Partly because he laser drone spammed me. But I also gave him an extra ship, you know, when I set up the scenario. So, all right, let's try. God, it's just out of my range. This thing is slow as balls too. Well, let's try to take something out at least. Yeah, see that pulses the thing. Let's get the skiff. No, just 1 damage. What else is close? That I can do. Take out a couple of the drones at least on my way. Alright, I think that's it for that. I have my spotter. Still want my spotter to go towards... No, let's do it on the skiff. And, oh yeah, the new laser drone I did. He is targeted. He is not, though. So he can take him out. And let me move him over towards that guy. Or actually, no. Let me move him over towards the cruiser, actually. I'm going to need more backup against that. Like I said, I think if I take out that cruiser, and there's a corvette, too. And this is probably their 3rd ship. Once I take out that cruiser, I think these drones are going to die. But we'll see. I might not even have enough people to do that, though. Alright, yeah, we're down to 2. Because I got to rescue these pilots. And I'm down to a corvette and 3 drones, which is not great. But I should be able to take out this cruiser. How many hit points does he have left? 7. So the corvette's going to take him out. So, it's something at least. Because taking these out is probably useless, but... Alright. Alright, well I'm going to fire him, then I'm going to move... I want to move to the escape pod. And you, sir, you can decrease your signature. Well, it's a lot easier with only 1 ship. Cruiser should die. There goes the cruiser. But I think I just lost. Yep. All my main ships got destroyed. Victory. So there you go. There you go. That's Conceal Intent. I really like it. I think that the use of the stealth signature detection system is really good. You know, you really have to strike a balance between how many actions to perform each turn, between moving, shooting, using your sensors, using abilities, and using your countermeasures. Do you want to use them at the beginning or save them for the end? And, you know, attacking the enemy. How often do you want to do that? You can hide behind planets or asteroids, like in that scenario. You can hide behind the asteroids to decrease your detection and signature. But a lot of interesting strategy in there, which I really like. The campaign is challenging. If you use up too much of your abilities early on, that'll really mess you up later on, like what happened to me. So I've really played mostly skirmish games, which have been really fun. You can unbalance it, so like in that scenario, give the AI more ships to make it more challenging. There's lots of different ship loadouts you can customize. You know, you can completely randomize everything and just play. There's online multiplayer. The interface is fantastic. It really gives you, you know, in a 3D game, sometimes it can be hard to find your stuff, but it really displays all of your ships, all the enemy ships, the hit points, the signatures, all that stuff. It gives you graphs for the chances of each of your weapons hitting and how much damage they'll do. You know, it shows the hit points. It shows the movement limits each turn with that. You know, it turns yellow when that's outside of your movement range for this turn. Really well done, in my opinion. So I think if you like turn-based strategy games, this is definitely one that you want to check out, especially if you're compelled by the space setting and a lot of replay value with the skirmish mode, and an interesting take on the gameplay with the way that signatures and detections work. That's all I have for today. Till next time, bye now.